Good morning children, welcome back to English class. So we are discussing the lesson The Treasure Within part 2. So from the first part and in the second part we have seen that this lesson is about Mr. Hafiz, who is a famous architect. This is an extract from the interview taken by Miss Bailaraja, who is the editor of the newspaper called Spurge, belongs to the Valley School, Bangalore. Hafiz, from his childhood onwards, he was not at all interested in his studies. In the first and second standard, he was very good student, but later somehow he lost interest in studies and he never studied. He was always interested in playing games and pranks. That's how he got in his 10th class only 50%. But when he entered into the 11th standard, one day his principal called and talked to him for nearly 5 minutes. Actually, Hafiz lost his father when he was a very young boy itself. So that's what told by his principal as well. He reminded him that, so you don't have father, so it's only your mother who had worked very hard and paid all the school fees. So she is just expecting only to study. So that's what said by his principal, and he said that till now I'm able to manage, but now it's your turn. You have to take care of yourself. That year onwards, really, so Hafiz he concentrated on studies. He never entered into the field like games field as well. That's how he finished his like plus 2 also. Then he wanted to join army, but his aunt said no. Then he wanted to become a police, but his mother didn't allow him to join even the police force as well. Okay, so just he wanted to finish his graduation, but it was very difficult for him to get admission into the college because he was just having only 50%. Okay, so there he has to choose German or French. So he knows French a very little bit. Of course, he didn't know anything about German, but he wanted to take German language. But unfortunately, what happened? His German teacher was died. So he has selected French. He wanted to learn French from his cousin. Okay, so his cousin's husband was an architect. So he regularly used to go to the architect's office. So there one day what happened? Fortunately, he was able to check some designs. Okay, so he pointed out one design drawn by the architect. So he said that well, the design that was drawn by the architect is not going to be work out. So that window cannot be opened further. That was the true thing that was observed by the Hafiz. With that, his cousin was she and her husband also very much impressed, and they suggested him to join architecture. So that's why, and he has selected the field of architecture. He went to the college. Their principal told that, so okay, you need to get good marks in the entrance exam. Otherwise, I can't allow you to join the college. So in the entrance exam, he got A plus. From there onwards, he worked very hard, and every year he used to stand first in the class. Okay, so that's how his journey was started as an architect. Later, what happened, we'll see in today's class. Open your textbooks, open page number 74. So it's a third paragraph from the last. I believe that all this understanding came from what I used to play and do during school. So we know that he was very much interested in playing games. So how he is able to draw all these designs, how, in which way he got that knowledge means he is saying that maybe I think, so this knowledge, whatever I have, that I got from the playing itself. I had a friend called Behram Divecha. We used to have competitions between us for designing forts, guns and ammunition. Each of us would design something in an effort to be different. So that's what he is saying. So how he became excellent in all these things. Actually, he was having one friend called Behram Divecha. So in his childhood, so he used to have a lot of or so many competitions with him. So how were their games, designing forts, guns and ammunition. So ammunition means supply of bullets. Ammunition means supply of bullets. So in their games, They used to design forts, guns and ammunition. So like that, each and every time they used to have something different. So they tried to have different things. Okay, so that's how he got this knowledge. In school, when I was in the second or third standard, one of my teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw my sketches and told me, "See, you are useless in everything else, but your sketches are good. When you grow up, you will become an architect." I didn't know at the time, but she was right. Later, after I became an architect, I went back to meet her and told her. So, when he was in his second or third standard, then itself, one of his teachers, she was able to recognize his talent. So, by looking at his drawings and sketches, what she told, so in other things, so in studies and all, really, you are not that much worthy, but your sketches are really good. So, I hope, definitely, I'm very much sure about that. Once you grow up, definitely you will become an architect. So at that time, so he was just in second or third standard only, right? So probably he didn't understand the meaning of architect also. So he didn't take that word as serious. But later he realized that whatever that particular teacher said, that became true. So that's what he did when he has grown up and when he has become an architect. One day he went to meet his teacher and told her that whatever she said on that day, that became true. Okay, so turn the page. So there are two pictures. You can observe that. So those are two different structures. Next one. Let's see now again interview between this BR and HC. BR means Bailaraja and HC means Hafiz contractor. So the next question by BR is like this. What do you think you didn't like studies? Was it because you felt you could not cope, could not deal with the curriculum? So she was asking, why are you not interested about studies? What was your difficulty? Was it is just because of your subjects curriculum means syllabus or what? Okay, then Hafiz told, I was very bad at languages. Science and geography I could deal with. Maths was very bad. So we know that from the first part itself, right? He was very much afraid of maths. Okay, so even he used to get nightmares about that. So that's what he said. I was very bad at languages. Science and geography somehow I used to manage. But again, maths was very bad. I just was not interested. So what he was saying, so it's not like about subjects. I never thought of that. First of all, I was not at all interested. That's the main thing. I was studying for the sake of studying. So just every day I used to go to school and come back to home. That's it. For the sake of studying, that's it. There was no purpose at all. Next, what they taught me today, I would forget after 2 days. So in the class, whatever my teachers used to teach me, I used to forget immediately after 2 days. I would not bother because there was no application of mind there to begin with. So he never bothered about that. He didn't pay any attention in the class. He never concerned about that. He didn't listen to his teacher's words. That's why he was not at all able to remember anything. Next, did you think that what they taught in school was boring? Or did you feel that once you understood the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson? So she was asking why it was like that. Did you feel that lessons are very boring or what? How did you feel? Like once you understand the concept of what was being taught, you lost interest in the rest of the lesson. See, for example, lesson means it cannot be completed in one class, right? So obviously it will take 2 or 3 classes. So she was asking, whatever taught on one particular day, after listening that, are you going to lose interest in the second part also? Was it the thing or any other thing was there? Then Hafiz, Living in a boarding school is difficult. We were just living from day to day. Nowadays, there are so many tests. Back then, whenever we had tests, we used to just copy. The teacher thought that we had done our work. So this one also already given, we discussed this one. He used to copy when there were exams. So that's what he just said, that whenever I used to have tests or examinations, I just simply used to copy. And teachers used to think like he had done his work. Then there is a contention that giftedness and learning disabilities go hand in hand. Do you think this applies to you? So coming to this one, that is contention. Contention means angry disagreement between two people. So disagreement between two people. Disagreement means not obeying with each other. So she was saying, if you take from person to person, obviously their skills will be different. Okay, was it true in your case? Then what he said, I have come across this situation in many different places where people tell me that their class toppers are doing very ordinary today. Yes, he said it was true. So, in his case itself, right? He never studied in his childhood, but at present he is like in the number one position. So, how is it possible? It is just possible because of his concentration. He was having some friends. They used to be topper of the classes, but now just they are like ordinary people. So there is no comparison. So he is saying that it's all about talent. It's all about talent. Next, in school, I think living our lives, they made us street smarts. I have learned more by doing what I did on my own than what academics would have taught me. So he always used to be on the streets. There, on the streets, he observed the surroundings. He observed the people. He observed the mechanisms. That's how he got the knowledge. He was not having bookish knowledge. He never used to read the books. So that's what said by him. So probably, or I think I'm very fortunate because of that. I'm in this position now. So that's what said by Hafiz contractor. Okay, so this is just because of the personality and skills. You were able to find expression in a manner you were comfortable with, and you defied every rule so that nobody would stop you from doing what you decided not to do. Okay, so defied. D-E-F-I-E-D. Defied means broke. So Hafiz, always he was having his own rules. He never allowed others to break his rules. Okay, so that's again one more plus point. Because of that, again, he got success in his life. That's what said by Hafiz. Turn the page. So I would think of the flowing water and how to build a dam to block it. I would be thinking about the flow of water within the dam and how much of water the dam would be able to hold. That was my interest for the day. So in his playtime, he used to build some small dams. Okay, in the school ground itself, he used to play some small dams. So dams means we know that, right? So which can hold or store the water. So there is here is one more picture. You can observe that. So while constructing that, always he used to think like, what is the real capacity of the dam? So how much water it can store? What will happen in case of floods? So in that way, he used to think from his childhood onwards. Okay, without having any bookish knowledge itself, while playing, he used to think like that. So that's how he became an architect. When students lost a button while playing or fighting, they would come and running to me and I would cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. So he was very sharp, intelligent. The only thing was he was not having interest in studies. That's why he never studied. So always If anyone is in trouble, he used to be fast to solve their problems. So there are some cases. For example, one thing is that if anyone is going to lose their button while playing or fighting, they used to come to him for the solution. Then what he used to do? Just he used to cut a button for them from chalk using a blade. So chalk means you know that, right? So if anyone lost their button while playing, just he used to take the chalk, that means piece of chalk, and he used to cut a small piece from that in the shape of button. Discipline in the school was very important and no student could afford to have a button missing. So he was studying at boarding school. Okay, so that was very strict. So discipline is must and should there. That's why, so buttons, that means everybody should have the proper buttons. So there is no chance or scope to be missed that one. That's why in that case his friends used to come to him for the solution. So he used to make button from the chalk. The student would get past dinner with a full neat uniform, and after it didn't matter. So if there is a proper uniform, then only they used to get full meal. Otherwise, they will not be allowed to have lunch for that day. That's why. Okay, next one. Coming to the present, how do you decide as to what kind of structure you want to give a client? Okay, let's talk about the present scenario. If anybody comes to you, especially your clients, so how are you going to address them? How can you design any structure for them? That was asked by Raja. Then Hafiz told, I look at the client's face, his clothes, the way he talks and pronounces, the way he eats, and I would know what is his taste would be like. I can relate to people in a way that would be comfortable. I sketch very spontaneously on a paper on the spot. That paper I give to my people in the office. So how he used to design any like a structure for the houses? First he used to observe the client. So his clothes, the way he talks or pronounces, the way he eats. So he used to observe all these attributes of his clients. Later he will come to one assessment. From that he used to draw designs for them. That will be done by him very spontaneously. Spontaneously means within no time. Spontaneously means without planning. Without planning, he used to draw the designs. Okay, at that moment itself, very instantly. On the paper, he used to draw the designs. Then, DR. Did you do it instinctively? Yes. Call it instinct or call it arithmetic, whatever. Now it comes to me like mathematics. So I don't know exactly what to say or what to call. So you may call it as instinctive or arithmetic, but it's for me now like mathematics. So we know that, right? He was very afraid of math, but at present he is designing with the help of mathematics only. That means he became very much expert in mathematics. Okay, putting design, construction, psychology and sociology together and making a sketch from all that is mathematics. So he is defining like mathematics. What exactly math consists? Putting design, construction, psychology and sociology. Psychology means here reading the mindset of his clients. So he need to understand the client's requirements. Based upon only like he can design. So that's what he is saying. I am working on mathematics, but it is just not about maths. I have to include, I have to cover all these areas. So putting design, construction, psychology and sociology. So that's what like together makes the subject called maths. Here we almost come to a full circle where Mr. Contractor has derived his own interpretation of mathematics. Taking it from a subject he hated to a subject he now loves dealing with. So that's what the end of the lesson. So what it was given, so it was almost come to a full circle. Full circle means we have seen from his childhood onwards and up to his journey of a famous architect. So it's like a full circle, and he has derived or he has given his own abbreviation or definition for maths. That's what we have seen that, right? Putting design, construction, like a psychology and sociology. So all these by combining together is called as mathematics. That was the old abbreviation given by him. Actually, it was the subject where he used to hate the most. But now he is dealing with that only every day. So it became like a part of his life. Okay, so that's what his lesson about. So that's exactly called as the treasure within. So the treasure within means, so he was having his own talent. As we discussed at the introduction part, so everybody will have one kind of talent. Just the only thing is we have to know that and we have to focus on that. Okay, so this is the end of the lesson. So write glossary and summary of this lesson. I hope you have finished part 1 summary as well. What about project work, FA1 project? I hope you have done that. Coming to the FA2 project, actually this one I'm going to give from the unit 4th, which is excluded from our syllabus actually, but we have to take project from that lesson, that unit. So that is science and technology. So from this unit, just do one thing, collect information about any two electronic gadgets. Collect information about any two electronic gadgets and write about them in your project book. Collect the pictures on also and write. Okay, prepare for elocution as well. Next week we are going to have that. So your topic is like you need to talk about the feelings of a homeless child. Okay, thank you.